Good day. Okay, my name is Oyewole David, and I'm popularly known as King David. So I welcome you to the official educational consult. And firstly, before we proceed, I want you to do something for me. Please, I want you to click on the subscribe button on your screen so that whenever I post something good, you'll be able to benefit from it. And this is how you do it. After you have clicked on the subscribe button, you will see something like a notification bell. So just click on that too. Please, before we proceed, can you just do that for me? Please. Okay, having done that, thank you. So now we can proceed. Good day. Now in this video, I'll be teaching you the sequences and series. And under sequences and series, now it says sequence is a set of numbers. Yeah, it's a set of numbers. For example, you have something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this is sequence. These numbers have been arranged in sequence. So now that's it. Then we have the series. Series have been separated. Or you can have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 and so on. So these are examples of number arranged in series. Do you get it? Do you get it now? So now let's move straight to the point. Under this we have AP and we have the GP. This is arithmetic, progression. While we have this geometric progression. So this is the meaning to AP and GP. We have the arithmetic progression and the geometric progression. And then we'll be taking them one by one. So firstly, we are going to take the AP. And then we are not going to take much time. All I just want to do for you is just summary that can help you if you have an examination or you have to answer any question anywhere. So firstly, if we are going to be taking the AP is an arithmetic projection, just like I told you. Now there's something we call the nth term formula. Just like after you've listed the number in sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I just want to add to it that and what's the 60th number in this sequence? You can actually tell me if it's in arrangement of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. You can tell me 60 is the 60th number. Do you get it now? So how do you get something like that? At times not everything that will be 1, 2, 3. Some might be 0.2, 0.9, 0. It depends on the difference between them. So firstly, I want to let you know there are some units that you need to know, the parameters that you need to know. Whenever you see A, this thing means the first term. A means first term. Now D means common difference. While that's for D. Then we have N. That's the number of terms. The number of terms. Now we have when I say where else? When I say Sn, sum of a number of terms. Sn. For example, you might just say, calculate the sum of the first 7th term. Calculate the sum of the this, that, and that. So L means last 10. That's what L means. Whenever you see L, it means the last 10. And then now let's continue. There are times that you'll be given a number arranged in sequence. Some might be finite, while some might be in infinity. And whenever you hear infinity, that means it has no end. It has no end. But when you say it's finite, that means there is an end to it. Now let's continue. So, for example, you have been asked to calculate the nth term of AP. The nth term of AP. That's what Tn equals to A plus open bracket n minus 1 close bracket d. There's no way I can imbibe this so much in you that I can now prove this is just a simple formula for it. So you just have to memorize it till you can know it anytime, any day. So it's Tn equals to A plus open bracket n minus 1 close bracket d. And now how do you get your common difference? So your common difference is equals to the second term minus the first term. It's also the same thing as the third term minus T2 is the same thing as T4 minus T3. Mind you, it is not T3 minus T1. It's either it's T2 minus T1 or T3 minus T2 or T4 minus T3 or T5 minus T4 or T6 minus. Do you get it now? Because it's continuous. It's a measured gap in between those numbers. Do you get it now? So that's your common difference. And having that as your common difference, okay, so now let's solve a question. Whenever you have, okay, for example, you have a question like this. Find the nth term. Sorry, I just have to clean this. It says find the nth term of 7, 2, minus 3, minus 8. Now, you're asked to find the nth term of this number. And then the first thing to do here is just to note what your common difference is. What's your common difference? Your common difference is what? T2 minus T1, right? So what's your common difference? That's going to be what? 2 minus 7. This T2 means the second term. This T1 means the first term. So what's the second term here? 2 is the second, while the first one is 7. So that's T2 minus T1, that's 2 minus 7. And that gives you what? Minus 5, right? Yeah, it's minus 5. The answer is minus 5. So now let's find the nth term, which is Tn. You have been asked to find Tn, which is the nth term. So that means your A. What's your A? Your A is the first term. And what's the first term in this? It's 7. 7 is the first number. So that makes it this first term. 7 plus, open brackets, n minus 1. Since we don't know the number of 10, they just ask you to find nth. So it's still n. Do you get it now? Close bracket. Then what's your common difference? That's minus 5, right? Oh, yeah. So that's going to be what? Tn equals to what? 7 plus. Now you can see that there's no difference between this thing is just minus 5 here. It's not that this bracket is minus 5. No, it's just minus 5. So that means you will use this minus 5 here. Whatever your common difference is, you will use it to expand this bracket. So minus 5 times n, that will give you what? It will give you minus 5n. Minus 5 times n will give you minus 5n. So that minus 5n times plus will give you minus. That's why you raise the first plus and put minus. So that's minus 5n. Then minus 5 times minus 1, that will give you what? Plus 5. Why? Because minus times minus is plus, 1 times 5 is 5. Do you get it now? And then that makes it what? Tn equals to, now these two numbers here are not having n, right? So you can add them together. And that makes it what? 7 plus 5. 7 plus 5 is what? That's 12 minus 5n. That makes it your, okay? Yeah. It makes it your what's it called? Your nth term formula. Do you get it now? That's your nth term formula. Then let's proceed. Let's proceed. You might be asked to find. Okay, now let me solve this question for us. I'm going to clean this. Okay, now in this question, they said find the common difference. Common difference is unknown. Find the common difference between successive term of the arithmetic sequence for which the first term is, now they gave you the first term. They said the first term is what? Is 5. And the 32nd term is 119. That 32nd term means T32. 32nd term, it means T32. Do you get it now? So equals to 32nd term is what? Minus 119. So they've given you this. And then you have to find the common difference. And how do you solve something like this? It means that you will use your nth term formula. Tn equals to what? That's what? A plus open bracket n minus 1 close bracket d. So that means we are using T32. So if you are using T32, that means you have replaced n with 32. So whenever you see n in this other side here, you must put 32 there. Do you understand it now? And they gave us our first term. Our first term is what? 5, right? Yeah, 5 plus, now n is not going to be n anymore, it's going to be 32 minus 1, close bracket d. We don't know our common difference, so we should find our common difference, right? So now the simple thing you are going to do here, they've given you the value of T32. They said T32 is minus 119, right? So instead of T32 here, we put minus 119. equals to what? 5 plus. Now this d is going to expand this bracket just like the way we did the other time. So d times 32, 32d. D times minus 1 minus d. Do you get it now? Or you can just make things simple for yourself. Instead of doing that, 32 minus 1, that's 31. 31 times d, 31d. Do you get it now? So now, to get something like this, all you just have to do is collect items. That's 31d equals to what? Bring this to the other side. Then you bring it to the other side, it will be what? Minus. That's minus 119 minus 5. Minus 119 minus 5. Because plus we change to minus. So 31d equals to what? Now that's going to give you what? Minus 124. Is that it? Okay, yeah, it's minus 124. Now to get your d, you divide both sides by 31. And then that makes your d equals to what? That's 124 divided by 31. That's going to give us 124 divided by 31. That's going to give us what? 4. So that's minus 4. That means the common difference is minus 4. And it's as simple as that. Do you get it now? It's minus 4. It's very simple. Okay, so let's move to the next one. It says that sum of n terms. Sum of n terms. Though there are some other questions that we can actually solve that, okay, without wasting our time, let me just solve one question for us here. Okay, no, don't let us waste much of our time on this. So in case they ask you to find the first time and they give you the common difference, it's just the same way you are going to use to solve it too. So now let's move to the next one, which is the sum, because we still have much things to cover. Okay, so now the sum of terms. And when they say the sum of terms, and now I've given you about 4 formulas here now. I gave you the formula for nth term. I gave you, okay, let me just, my bad. L equals to a plus n minus 1 close bracket d. Please note these two. These are another formula. So it's just like a formula summary. It's still the same thing. D is what? T2 minus T1. Or any other one. And then our sum of AP is going to be n over 2 open bracket 2a plus open bracket n minus 1 close bracket d. Or you can use Sn equals to what? N over 2 open bracket a plus n. It's still the same thing. It's still the same thing. The reason is still the same thing because this is L, right? If you put this L inside a plus, now that's what? A plus, let's say this is L, a plus n minus 1 d. A plus a is what? 2a plus n minus 1. Do you understand it now? So it's just a simple logic. You don't need to stress yourself much on that. Do you get it? So in case you have been given last name, just use this simple. So now this is just like a formula summary. You can actually write it down so you won't have issues reminding yourself of any of them. Okay, so I'm going to clean the board now so that we can solve a question under the sum of AP. Now the sum of AP, let me solve a question for you. It says sum the series. Sum the series 5 plus 9 plus 13 plus dash 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 to 20 times. Sum the series 5 plus 9. So you can see it's series because plus 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 is in between them. Assuming in sequence, it's going to be comma, comma, comma. So you might be asking your exam that, okay, this kind of thing is arranged in what? Is in series. Do you get it now? So now this number is infinity. That means it continues. It will continue till eternity. There's no end to it. And then it's just asking us that we should sum 5 plus 9, whatever you get, plus 13, plus the next thing, plus like that, till the 20th term. Do you get it now? So instead of using calculator to say 5 plus, no, just solve it directly. And now this is what we're going to do. What's our first time here? Our first time is, okay, now the sum of AP Sn equals to what? N over 2 open bracket 2a plus n minus 1 close bracket d, right? Now S20 is what they asked us to find. S20, because they said 20 times. S20 equals to Now, since we are replacing n with 20, so wherever we see n here, we'll put what 20. Right? That's 20 over 2. Open bracket 2a. That's 2. What is your a in this? That's 5 because it's the first time. I told you a is first time, right? Plus open bracket. Now n is also 20 minus 1. Close bracket. Now what is the common difference? The common difference is just the second term minus the first term. So 9 minus 5 is what? 4. Right? Close bracket. So now S20 is going to be what? 20 divided by 2 is 10. Right? Now 2 times 5, 10. Plus 20 minus 1. That's 19, right? Times 4. Is that it? So now S20 is equal to what? 10, bracket 10 plus 19 times 4. 76, right? Am I correct? 76. 19 times 4 is 76. So S20 is now going to be what? 10, open bracket. 10 plus 76, that's 86. Mind you, according to board maths, you have to solve what's in the bracket first. So that means S20 equals to what? 10 times 86 is what? 860. So the sum of the first 20 terms in this is going to give you what? It's going to give you 860. The first 20 terms is going to give you 860. Yeah. So now let us proceed. I have a question again here. Okay, now let us take this question together, which is also sum of AP. The sum of AP. Question says, okay, I think let's leave that for now because there are still some complicating issues here. So let me just move straight to this one because there are times that you might be using what's it called? You might be using simultaneous equation in AP. Now the question says the first term of an arithmetic progression is 16 and the last term is 60. Now the question says what? The first term, which is A, is what? 16. And the common difference, the last term is what? 60. Now the sum of the AP is now Sn. What they are just telling us, the sum of everything is what? 342. We are asked to find the common difference. Find the common difference. Now can you try this yourself? Okay, why you try that? Okay, let's do it together. Now it says that Sn equals to what? N over 2, open bracket, A plus L. I've told you can use this formula, right? You can use this formula. But instead of that, because what we are looking for is not in here, right? So it's not in here, so we are just going to solve with this. Firstly, we use this to get our n. Is that okay? After using this to get our n, then we'll now use that other formula that I told you about. Now, that's what's your L? L is 60. Because what's your A? 16 plus n minus 1. Okay. D, right? So, okay, sorry. Now, the simple thing we're going to do is that first formula we're going to use. That's Sn equals to what? N over 2, bracket A plus L. This is what we're going to use. We're going to first use this to get our n. Do you get it now? And Sn is what? 342, right? Equals to n over 2. Open bracket. What is your A? 16, right? Plus, what is your L? 60. Use that to get your n. So that's 342 equals to what? N over 2, open bracket. 16 plus 60 is what? 76. So you can easily cancel, right? 342 equals to, by the time you cancel 2 here, 1, 2 here, 2 in this is going to give you 38. So that 38 times n, that's 38n, right? So you divide both sides by 38. Divide both sides by 38. So n equals to, divide both sides by 38 so as to get your answer. So that's 342 divided by 38. That's going to give us 9. So that means the sum of the number is what? The number of terms is what? 9. After you've gotten your n, mind you, the question is asking us to calculate for common difference, not number of terms. But we need the number of terms so as to get our common difference. That's why we have to just solve that one first. And then we are going to proceed ahead to solve this. So that's going to give us what? Now, we've gotten our n to be is what? 9. And then, so we use L equals to A plus N minus 1, close bracket D. What's our L? 60 equals to, now your A is 16 plus, we know our number of terms, 9 minus 1, then we are looking for D. Do you get it now? So now that means what? 60 equals to what? That's 16 plus, now 9 minus 1 is what? 8. That's 8D. And then we can actually get our 8 by doing what? So 60. So that means our 8D equals to what? 60 minus 16. Then 8D equals to what? 60 minus 16 is what? So that will give us what? 44. Right? So now that means we divide both sides by 8. And then the common difference is going to be what? I think that's what the answer is going to be. So your common difference is going to be what? 5.5. That's what the common difference sequence and series. Anyone? With geometric progression, which is GP. And now the same thing here, we have our first term is A, R is the common ratio, now Tn is the nth term, Sn is the sum of terms. Why here you can see we are not making use of common difference, we are making use of the common ratio. And how do we solve our common ratio? You know, mind you, our common difference is T2 minus T1, but this one is T2 over T1, or use T3 over T2, or anyone that you wish to use. And then now let's note these formulas 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the formula summary. So now the nth term formula for this one is AR raised to power n minus 1. That's it. It's just as simple as this. Just note it. And then here we have the sum of GP. The sum of GP, how do you calculate for the sum of GP? That's A open bracket 1 minus R raised to power n over 1 minus R. And we can only use this formula when R is less than 1. That's when 1 will come before R. Do you get it now? But if R is greater than 1, let's say you have 1.2 or 15 or 16, those ones they are greater than 1. This is the formula you are going to use. R raised per n will come before 1. Do you get it now? This is the formula you are going to use for that. So let's assume that you have minus 2. You can see that minus 2 is not up to 1. So it's less than 1. You are going to use this. If your common ratio is less than 1. Then this is the sum of infinity, and that's when the R is less than 1. You have A over 1 minus R. So let us proceed by solving some questions, and then we'll solve some other questions under it so as to bring clarification to it. Okay, so now the first question we're going to be solving here is about the nth term part of it. The nth term part of it. Now it says that what is the first term? Okay. Okay, so now let us, I'm looking for a question. Okay, now for example, you have been given a first term of 1. Sorry, it's not even okay. The question in this textbook is not correct. That's it. It says what's the first term after they've given the first term. So now the question is actually saying what is the nth term? Find the nth term. If the common of this 1, minus 2, minus, okay, minus 2, 4, minus 8, 16. Now find the nth term of this. Now how do you find the nth term of this? You know I told you that Tn equals to what? AR raised to power n minus 1, right? Okay, what's our A? The A is the first one, right? So our A is equal to 1. Then the common ratio is equal to what? Minus 2 over 1. And minus 2 divided by 1 is what? Minus 2, right? This over this. And then we cannot proceed to solve. We can proceed to solve. That's what? The Tn equals to what? What's your A? 1 times, what's your R? Minus 2 raised to power n minus 1. Is that taken? So that means that, okay, this we can make it this way. That means minus 2 raised to power n minus 1. That should be our answer. Yes, minus 2 raised to power n minus 1. That's the nth term of this sequence here. This sequence. From there you can get your first term. From there you can get your common ratio, and then you can get to solve your nth term. But if they ask you that, okay, what is the seventh term? I want to twist that question for you. Now, what is the seventh term of this? Find the seventh term. How do you do that? You know, normally Tn equals to what? A plus n minus 1, right? Sorry. That's Gp. And that's AP rather. So now Tn equals to AR raised to power n minus 1. Right? So now we have to find the T7. That's what they asked us to look for. T7, because they said the seventh term, not the nth term now. T7 equals to, what's our A? 1 times what? Common ratio is what? Minus 2 raised to power what? 7 minus 1. Is that taken? So that's going to be what? 1 times minus 2 raised to power 6. So that's going to give you what? Minus 2 raised to power 6. Minus 2 raised to power 6. Mind you, is going to give us what? That's 2 in 6 places. Together now, I think that's going to be 64. The final answer is supposed to be 64. Because this number that is standing as, what's it called? As the power here is even. So it's going to make this our minus here. At times minus times minus plus, plus times minus minus, minus times minus plus. You arrive at plus. Do you get it now? And then 2 raised to power 6 is 64. Yeah. So the final answer for T7 is what? 64 for this sequence. Is that taken? So now let us solve a little bit on the sum of GP. Sum of GP. Sum of GP. Now, you have been given something like this. 4, 6, 9. And you are asked to find the sum of the first 10 terms. That means S10, right? Normally, we know our Sn equals to what? Firstly, for us to know the kind of formula we're going to be using, we need to first derive what our common ratio is. So normally we know our A is what? 4, which is the first term, right? Now the common ratio is going to be what? 6 over 4. And 6 over 4 is what? 3 over 2, right? 3 over 2 is going to give us, I think, 1.5. Right? So 1.5 is more than 1. So that we'll be using Sn equals to what? A open bracket R raised to power n minus 1 over R minus 1. Is that taken? So now we have to find the S10. S10. Our A is what? Our A is 4. Open bracket what? R, which is 3 over 2 raised to power 10. Is that taken? Minus 1 over 3 over 2 minus 1. And how do we do that? So that's going to be S10 equals to what? 4 open bracket what? This is going to give us what? 3 raised to power 10. And that's going to be 3 raised to power 10. What's 3 raised to power 10? 3 power of 10 is what? 590. Over this power of 10 is going to affect these two. And then 2 raised to power 10 is going to give us what? 1024 minus 1 over. Now, if you just simplify this, 3 over 2 minus 1. So that's going to be 2. 3 minus 2 equals to what? 1 over 2. So this one is going to be 1 over 2. Is that taken? So now, inside this bracket here, we can simplify it. Simplify what's inside this bracket. S10 equals to what? 4 open bracket what? Inside this bracket, the S10 is going to be 1024. Right? So that's going to be what? 59049 minus 1024. Right? Over 1 over 2. Is that taken? Yeah, that's it. So that's it. So 1024 divided by 4. So we can actually cancel 4 here. Here it will remain 256. I hope you are following me. So now I just have to rub up the board. So now we'll continue. Our S10 is going to be what? Now 59049. 59049 minus 1024. That'll give us what? 58025 over 256. Mind you, we cancel, that's why. Then over 1 over 2. And instead of, if you want to remove that, that's what? Times 2 over 1. Instead of 1 over 2, right? So that's going to be S10 equals to what? Here, 2 here 1, 2 into 256, 128, right? So that means 58025 divided by 128 is going to be the final answer for some of them now. So that's going to be 58025 divided by 128, and the answer is 453.32. That's the sum of the 10 terms of this number we're having here. That's 453.32. That's the final answer. Do you get that now? So it's as simple as that. And in case you are being asked to find the sum of infinity, that one is simple. It's a over 1 minus r. Do you get it now? So I want to solve some problems here. And that problems, I'll be linking back to what we have in AP. There's a problem here that I would love us to solve. It's a very long one, but then we still need to solve it. So now it's saying that, okay, now find the sum. Okay, let me give you that as a classwork. It says find the sum of all the integers between 100 and 400 that are divisible by 7. Do this as your classwork. So you can just drop your answer in the comment section. I would really love to see the first person to drop the answer. So the first person to drop the answer, I guess I'll be showing you something. So just drop it. I would love to see it. And then, okay, so just make sure that you practice more questions. And if you have any question, just drop it in the comment section. I would love to answer. Thank you so much.